Hello, everyone. Welcome to Grapes and Greens, Series 2, Episode 5. And I'm just so lucky to be sitting here as one of the very first people to see the brand new Royal Dornoch clubhouse. And I'm with the man who's been the force behind this project, Neil Hampton. Neil, the general manager and managing director of Royal Dornoch. We've known each other, I think, 15 years, something like that.
At least, yeah.
Something
At
like
least,
that.
yeah.
And congratulations on a stunning job. We came here, we got on a plane at 9 o'clock this morning from Heathrow, arrived at Inverness, pouring with rain, drove up, and it's almost, I have a religious experience coming, looking at the front door and then walking through. The passion and I know the hard work you and your team have put together is sensational. So congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, very, very good. And we're delighted as Grapes and Greens to be kind of the first people to be in the clubhouse.
Well, I can
It's ideal.
safely say this will be the first official
Yeah.
production that's happened in this clubhouse. We're trying to preserve it and let it happen at the right time.
Absolutely.
So, not knowing when the podcast will go out, and this could be the very first that people see of the interior of our brand new clubhouse.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're certainly very honoured about that. We think this will go out just after the new year. So I know that you're looking at opening.
We're opening on the 15th of December.
Okay.
So
Brilliant.
Good timing.
Big for members only.
It's a soft opening, as we would call it, yeah. So members and the general public, because we've changed the licence a little bit. But we expect a lot of members to come. A number of members have said they're going to come in. Out of town and overseas members are flying in, so we expect quite a queue at the front door on Monday the 15th.
Oh, fantastic. That was brilliant. Well, to celebrate, we always start with wine. And I brought a very special wine today from our wine partner, Gusbourne. This is their exceptional wine. They only make this in exceptional years from the very best grapes. And it's called 51 Degrees North, which is the precise, what I would call it? I would say latitude of the vineyard. It has, it's really crafted the very finest parcels of fruit, and it comes through as very citrusy, but also is very, very smooth. I've just tasted it. A little bit warm because we've been doing tastings before, but I think this is probably as good an English sparkling wine that I've ever tasted. So, cheers. Congratulations.
Cheers, sir. And I would agree, it's a very nice wine. So thank you. Even from south of the border,
exactly. I was going for a Scotsman to say English wine was very brave, but there we go.
We shall applaud them on that. So well done.
Fantastic. So we've known each other a number of years, but my first experience coming to Royal Dornoch I think it was 2003 when I was at St Andrews, and Highlands and Islands College is just across the road. And it was where they were doing a golf degree. And John Duncan, your predecessor, was very much behind that. And I came with Alan McGregor, my boss at the time. And I remember that before we played, the day before the inauguration of the degree, we played 18 holes and we finished about 9 o'clock. And we were on the 18th. It was a beautiful summer's day. And the Tain Air Show was going to be 2 days after, and we had the Red Arrows come just give us a private display, and that's something I will always remember about Royal Dornoch. It's just so gorgeous on a beautiful day, isn't it?
Well, John obviously arranged that for you on your behalf.
He was always arranging amazing things, John. Absolutely.
Special visitor, get the Red Arrows up. Well done.
And did you know John before you got the job?
A little bit, yeah. There's a job I did, which was based in Dornoch for a couple of years. It was a golf tourism development job.
Yeah.
And so between 1999 and 2001, I was based here trying to do that for all the golf clubs in the Highlands, golf tourism development. And so I met John through that because obviously we wanted Dornoch to be involved, and we met him then. And then I moved on to do a different job based in Inverness.
Yeah.
And so didn't say lose touch, but we were in contact because I was managing a golf club in Inverness, and so we were in contact. So yes,
and you worked at Loch Ness Golf Club as well. Yeah.
So that's where it was. So I was in touch with John, as club managers do, as you know. So
network. Yeah.
So I knew him and knew of him. So yeah.
And then the job came up, and you applied, obviously.
Yes.
What were your first impressions of this, very prestigious golf club, and you were in charge of it?
Yeah, very interesting. Being from the Highlands, I'd played in Dornoch. I knew a number of people in Dornoch at the time, and one of the reasons that we wanted to come, not just the job itself, was my wife and I. We were married in Dornoch in 2002.
Okay.
Our son was christened in Dornoch in 2003,
Okay.
and we had several holidays. So,
Yeah.
and back then, 20 odd years ago, we said this is a nice place to retire to,
Yeah.
and we should maybe think about that.
Okay.
And so when a job come up, we both said, well, there's an opportunity.
Yeah.
A place a time to move to Dornoch and be ahead of the game. But it was very much a step up. The Loch Ness Golf Club Fairways leisure group that you mentioned, it was a proprietary place.
Mm-hmm.
Driving ranges, function rooms, golf course, everything. So and driven in a different way. We had members, but it was the one man in charge. So driven a different way. So to get back into a members environment that I was brought up in all my life, and my parents both worked in the game. My dad, I always like to say this, and we'll say this in your podcast too, that my dad was the last man that we believe, last man in Scotland who did both jobs. He was both the PGA professional and the head greenkeeper at the same time, carrying both roles.
Yeah.
So I was,
very much in the Tom Morris role, really.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So brought up in the game. So I've seen it from both sides, and to get back into the member side, which is arguably the best side. Because you've so many different things to do, and satisfying the members and satisfying the visitors and rolling it all to one is a very big task, but a very rewarding task when you get it right.
Yeah, and obviously with having a big membership, but also since really mid-80s when Tom Watson, Ben Crenshaw found Royal Dornoch, kind of put it on the map. It's one of the must-go-tos for Americans to come and play.
It is. I mean, it's always been a great golf course, but until these people came and highlighted a bit more to the world, some people knew about it, but you had to really know your golf back then until Tom and Ben came here, and then a slew of other pros came and played. I've been very lucky. The transport links have been made much easier. Like your journey today was across 3 major bridges.
Yes.
And they've only come along since the 80s. And so accessing Dornoch was very difficult.
Yeah.
It was a journey of real desire to get here, whereas now only been an hour from Inverness by car. It's a beautiful journey to take, so it's much easier to access it. Inverness being a nice airport hub, we are getting that number of people wanting to come and coming on a regular basis because it is so much easier. Yeah. And we have created something, and the condition of our course, the staff that we have, everything is so much lifted in that area that people do come and return on a frequent basis.
When you got the job, was it was the clubhouse on the agenda then? Because I know my first day at St Andrews in 2000, we had a management meeting and we spoke about the castle course.
Yeah.
And that was 2000. I think it was built I think it finished in 2008, 2009. Yeah. So,
yes. So depending who you speak to and depending how old the person you're speaking to is and how long we've been in Dornoch, yes, the clubhouse has been a 30, 40-year desire, and it's in 2008, there's an extract from our AGM where the captain at the time said that we need to do it now. Mm-hmm. The clubhouse we have is not fit for purpose. 2008, we should really move on with that. And so when I was looking at the job, the captain of the time, following him, said, we want to build a new clubhouse and we want you to be there to help push that through. And so when I arrived, it was a premise that building a clubhouse was very much on the agenda, and it had been a desire of the club for a number of years before that. And so, we've in 2012, not long after that, we had a design, we had a proposal, but the members didn't like it. So there's been many stops on the road to us getting to where we're sitting here tonight.
Yeah. And we invited you to a number of summits which you kindly came on. And I always was I always thought that you were one of the people who you were eager to learn. And we had some great speakers and some great networking. Mm-hmm. But that was the other thing. Were you thinking about trying also to put Royal Dornoch on the map from a professional manager's perspective to get the word out that Royal Dornoch, because it is a long way to come, especially, it is well known, but as you've said before, it's not the easiest place to get to. Yeah. Was your job at those early days to really start moving in those circles to get recognition of Royal? I mean, John Duncan did a very good job as well of setting up CMAE,
yes,
and being on the original board and that type of thing. Did you take his lead as well, sort of think,
yes,
well, I need to push and go and sell Royal Dornoch?
Oh, very much. I think that was part of the remit was, there's many avenues in the remit we can talk about, but one was to grow the club.
Yeah.
You know, John was a managing secretary,
Yeah.
you know, which is a different role.
Correct.
You know, and I was employed as a general manager to grow the business side of things, coming from a proprietary place, which we've done very well at, was to turn it not into a business, but be a bit more business focused in your mindset about how we run it. And, you know, and John had his skills very much. Setting up the CMAE was fantastic, and he's one of the first CCMs that we had.
Certainly, you know, from an education point,
Yes,
wasn't he? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I don't think his skills were where my skills are, about growing the business and pushing the name and making sure that people were aware of Royal Dornoch in the avenues that we wanted to be aware of, the spheres that people say want to hear about Royal Dornoch and make them come to it. I think he ran a very tight ship, but my skills are slightly different from his, where with the promotional aspect, the marketing aspect, the networking aspect, like you say, was much bigger and what they asked me to do. So yes, getting out and about and talking about it, being available, being present, attending things, making sure that you were flying a flag, whether it was in the States or England or even China. I went to China once.
Yeah.
You know, it's making sure that Royal Dornoch's name was up there.
Yeah.
So yes, I think that's what they saw in some of the skills I had, and John was different skills.
Yeah.
You know, so both complementing each other. And I think what they asked me to do was to grow the club. In many ways, and hopefully I think we've done that. And to sit here and achieve the brand new clubhouse took a bit longer than we anticipated, but we're here now, and I think that's one of the milestones we have.
And the beauty of networking is being able to benchmark then as well. And I can see just in the 5 minutes really that we've walked around, there's so many things that you would have taken from other places, isn't there? I mean, from the back of house to front of house, how you want the flow to go. Do you feel that you've in your journey, you've been able to befriend top managers? I always felt that, I mean, I was lucky enough to be at St Andrews, so a lot of people wanted to talk to me, so that was nice. But I felt, especially from an American perspective, they were very keen to show you their clubhouses and their experiences and their projects as well, because they do a lot of projects.
No, absolutely. And I would say golf is a huge game, but it's a very small industry. There's not many of us doing it.
Correct.
You know, and I think that it's easy to get to know people that way. You know, and when you speak to people, they want to share. You know, certainly I've had a number of younger managers phone me up and saying, look, can you tell me something? Because that's what I did. I was fortunate when I first started here in 2010 that I was recommended to speak to Wilma. So now you only have to say one name.
Everybody knows who
Everybody knows the only lady in golf with one name. So Wilma was, you know, managed at Royal Portrush for 30 odd years and grew it from a very tiny place. It was, you know, on its uppers to hosting the Open in 2019. So lots of great sage advice from Wilma and lots of, you know, honest to goodness things that she said about how to look after people and how not to look after people and how to treat people and how people should treat you, and lots of great advice on running a golf club. And she's still out and about, and I still see Wilma several times a year, and we still talk about that.
She saw I was doing the podcast and said, well, hello, stranger, when am I coming on?
And that's a Wilma.
And
but
great. And she'd be great. She would be really good.
And but the managers never forget you, because of we're all in the same game and we're all learning from each other and we're all sharing experiences. It really is fantastic that my phone, you know, you see my diary, my pocketbook is full of managers' names. Somebody, do you know somebody at such as Scott? Yes, I do. And that's the great thing to have.
I had a discussion the other day. We're probably 2 phone calls away of getting something to be done. You know, we'll know somebody who will know somebody who will probably be able to introduce you to.
No, absolutely, and that's the thing. When somebody says, I'll phone so-and-so, he'll know. You know, and that's the thing. People phone me, people phone you, because you've been around the game so long. But I think because of the nature of the game is we make friendships. It's not just a business connection. It's a friendship. We're in the game of people's hobbies and leisure time.
And we draw, you know, again, this is about grapes and greens. We chat over a glass of wine. You know, that's where the passion comes out. So we've done the education, but then let's get to know the people. Once you know, a couple of beers, glass of wine, over a meal, come and see the club, you know, and then you really spend that time and you gain trust as well. So you understand, and it's very open. That's why I felt it was great. Look, let me show you this project. Let me show what we've done here. This is what we do. These are the problems, that type of thing. And I think, obviously, from this experience, that's what you've taken, and now you've delivered, and you should be very proud to show people around.
We're just about getting there. I think, you know, as the empty shell is getting filled with the pictures and the paintings, the trophies, the exhibitions, even the kitchen equipment. Suddenly, the place is filling up, and it's not just a building; it's now our home. And as the furniture comes in, and as the people start using it, I will be more relaxed. At the moment, I'm still slightly apprehensive
Yeah.
because the people aren't in it yet. And to gauge your reaction's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And most people have been, in fact, everyone who's seen it so far has said the same thing. So I'm getting happier. But once we get the members' approval and we get people using the building and making it their home, that's when you'll sit down and go, yeah, job done.
Fantastic. You said earlier that the board turned down the plans for 2012.
Oh, yes.
Obviously, we kind of know why the clubhouse is needed, but why is the clubhouse needed? Is it the fact that you've done a very good job in the role that you were chosen to do by networking, going out and selling Royal Dornoch? Have you seen that it just outgrown itself?
Yeah, we have grown a business. We are a footfall. When COVID's given us things that we didn't want, but it's also given us things we did want, which is a bigger interest in golf. So it's giving us more people coming to see. Our membership is now closed, which it's never been before.
How many members do you have?
2,300 members scattered around the world.
Wow. Okay.
And we've got a championship course at capacity. We cannot squeeze any more tee times out of it.
Yeah.
So we have made something, that people want. So membership is still quite cheap, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
And that's because our visitor income is huge.
Yeah.
And when I came, the green fee here was less than £100, and now we're getting close to £400. In that 15, 16 years. So we're providing a quality golfing experience on a golf course. We now need to justify that green fee by providing a quality golf experience off the golf course.
Yeah.
And that really is a big desire of to complete the circle with what we offer the golfer when they come, whether that's a member or a visitor, a member guest or whoever. They need to have the full experience. And the clubhouse you're talking about is the first stage in that. The extension of our golf facilities are the next stage. But providing an off-course, again, we talked about earlier about staff are number one when it comes to this offering. So we've got to provide a facility that the staff feel comfortable working and staff want to work in. Our current clubhouse was first built in 1909.
Yes.
And it has been extended in 4 different directions, 3 horizontal, 1 vertical. And when you do that, you're not getting the best out of the building. And it's so difficult then to remodify. A lot of people said, why don't you just gut the inside? So, well, it will fall down if I gut the inside, because the central core is what keeps it up, And so in the old days, the steward and stewardess used to live there. So the back of the house is a steward's flat. We've had to convert the loft, which we shouldn't have, because it's it's an insurance risk, to provide storage space. We've had to remodel the kitchen several times for the growth in the food business that we're doing. I cannot employ more people because I don't have a seat to put them on.
Yeah.
We're just at this very moment appointing a head of golf to help run the golf business. Yeah. We need more admin staff. But I don't have any. There's physically no place to put them. Yeah. So this is a big reason for this new clubhouse. So suddenly you won't see an explosion in staff, but you'll see a number of staff come very quickly to help grow the business. We can't answer the telephone fast enough. We can't book tea times quick enough because there's not enough people doing that. So we all realise capacity is interesting. We were speaking to a club the other day, and said, "How many staff do you have taking?" Well, I've got 5 staff doing bookings only. We've only got 2 staff doing bookings, and we're one of the busiest clubs in the area. So we know that needs to happen, and I've phone calls from people saying, I can't get through. I says, I know you can't get through. So the club is going to give us more than just a great experience for our members and visitors. Much better experience for our staff. Yeah. Our staff are looking forward to being much more efficient. Yes. So they can deal with the customers and give the customer service that they want to give. Yeah. They feel they're not given the tools to do at the moment. And so I'm really looking forward to the staff's attitude when they're sitting in their brand new office and they've got more colleagues to help them do the job. That they're not feeling,
pressurised that the phone's not being answered.
I've got 100 emails to do every day, and it's like, wow, let's just all chill a bit because you're all getting the time to do your job and provide that extra level.
And one thing that comes across in these interviews, hosting the podcast and speaking to really interesting people, is that the number of times they mention about community. And again, if you have more staff, surely they're going to come from the community as well, because it's a close community. You don't want people coming from miles away, really, because you want to keep it in the community. And I think giving jobs why wouldn't you want to come and work in a place like this with the facilities that you now have?
Yeah, and indeed, and we're fortunate. We're doing well as a club, so we pay very good wages, with very good terms and conditions. You know, we look after our staff in what we feel is a good way. So retention is much higher than it ever used to be because we can afford to do the right things by them. Not that we never wanted to. You know, big on training. You know, big on life well-being, work-life balance, getting enough people in the right place. So we give them the right tools. I mean, all our greenkeepers have the best of equipment, you know, and we want to do that. The clubhouse here will allow us to give the best of equipment to our staff to do the best job they can.
I asked Alan Patterson, who's the estates manager at Turnberry, I said, "You're under pressure with the £1,000 tea time?" And he said, "Well, my job, I put pressure under myself anyway to deliver the best quality turf that I can in the golf course in the best position. But my boss provides me with all the equipment, so it's down to me." And that's exactly what you said. You're now giving your staff the equipment to go and do the best possible job they can do.
They should never want for anything if they're going to turn out what is necessary, especially on the green side and especially on the kitchen side. We talked earlier on about the chef, making sure the chef has the right tools, has the right number of staff, gets the best ingredients. So
there's only 2 chefs I've met, and one was today. Where I asked the chef, I said, "Have you got everything you need?" And he said, "Yes." The other person who said that was at Tottenham Hotspur. So that's so brilliant, because normally chefs will go, "Well, I didn't get this, I didn't get that." You got everything.
No, and as long as they justify the need for it, I will back them up to make sure they get it, because I don't want anybody complaining, "Well, I couldn't do that because I didn't have this." You know, we're a club that can afford to do it. If you need it and it's for the right reasons, you'll get it. But then, as you said, the onus is on them to produce.
Correct.
I've given you the tools, I've given you equipment, I've given you staff.
No excuses.
No excuses. Yeah.
No, absolutely, 100%. How many options did you have for the clubhouse? You know, with regard to
a fantastic process.
Yeah.
I mean, we advertised for architects, and we had 26 who sent in their CVs.
Yeah.
We took the CVs and put it down to 6, and 6 came and did half-day presentations on their ideas, their design. Compared
what year was this?
This was in 2017.
2017. So we're talking 8 years.
Yeah. Just a quick précis to that was in 2012 we had a design and the members didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was going to cost a lot of money. We were going to have to borrow money, so they didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was on the current site of the current clubhouse. We'd have been porta cabins for 18 years, so they said, "No, we don't want to do that." So stop. We went back and rethought, and we went back and said, "Well, practice facilities were what the members would like to have, so let's go and design a driving range." So we went to the members in 2016 with a driving range, and it was going to cost £2 million for a beautiful state-of-the-art driving range. They said, "No, we don't want that, because if we spend the money on that, we won't get a clubhouse." You want a clubhouse? So back and rethought. So that's where we got to the 26 CVs, down to 6, half-day presentations. We give them a pretty strong brief about what we want.
Yeah.
It needs to be a clubhouse that fits in to the Dornoch architecture.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a spaceship that sticks out. You know, when you cast your eye over the skyline of Dornoch, it won't stop at our clubhouse because it's different. It will carry on because it's similar. So we have peak roofs, slate, sandstone, and a design feature I didn't realise in Dornoch is the arch over the doorway. So we've got arches over the door.
Okay, I didn't realise that either.
Yeah.
Okay.
But a big part of...
Is it a local architect? Did you choose a local architect?
We chose at the beginning an Inverness-based architect, which is fairly local, but unfortunately with COVID their business shrunk and they went back to Glasgow.
Okay.
They had offices in Glasgow, so they went back to Glasgow. But it was Inverness-based consultants at the very beginning, yes, but COVID changed that. But the brief very much was, we want something that fits in, but it also needs to show our history, our heritage. It needs to show Royal Dornoch wherever you are in a clubhouse. You know, we don't want a museum, but we want a space that just whenever you walk in, you can see who we are. You can feel what the club is. You can understand the characters, the events, the happenings, the ups and downs of Dornoch through the years, because we're coming up to 150 years. So that needs to be there in full show, that when you come in, you're not going to just come in for a beer or a sandwich and leave. You're going to be there for hours because you're drinking it all in. You're understanding who we are. You're soaking up our history. And that, again, to the point we talked about earlier, people then understand Dornoch and want to come back because this is such an amazing place with such a rich history and a tapestry in life that I want to get more of.
Yeah.
They will come back more often because it's a wow factor on the golf course and off the golf course.
It's a real destination. Yeah. And to stay longer, whereas you did feel in the old club house, if it was busy, it's a bit like, okay, well, and I'm sure tour operators would have said, like, okay, well, Dornoch, you know, you go and play and then we're off, you know, we're maybe going down to Nairn or wherever, or we're back down to wherever. but I think you'll find that a lot more people will stay,
Yeah.
and that may well help hotels as well, because more people will say, let's actually have a couple of days at Dornoch now, because you can really enjoy both courses rather than just the main course, the championship course, because you've got the off-course facilities.
And you've just talked about the chef who's a 4-star chef, come from many great places,
Yeah.
and is wanting to produce the best food he can, not just flip burgers. He wants to produce fine dining. We've trialed that in the current clubhouse this summer, and it really has worked. Our people want that level of food, which these guys can produce. So we've given them the tools.
You have.
We've now given the environment. We've given the location. So I expect it to go, and they're all very keen, which is great.
And we're sitting in the committee room, but this would be an amazing private dinner room as well.
We know this is a great space for it. We're going to get a bespoke oak table, boardroom table here, seats 16. And so yes, to have the private dining in here would be quite an experience.
It
would
be really sensational. Very good. It costs £14 million.
All in, including VAT and fees and fit outs and loose furniture, and I mean the bill cost itself was a bit less than that. But we said to the members it's 13.9 million we're going to spend, including all the extras, and that's what we've done.
Brilliant.
I think
to run on time, on budget,
more or less on time. So we're kind of slightly. It was meant to be finished in the middle of summer,
right?
Which was always a time that we couldn't use it.
Use it anyway. We discussed that.
And so we'd always said to the members, not moving into the quiet season, which is now. And so that there's a lot of tweaking people do, and so we've said that's fine, don't rush. We want a building that is right, not just finished. And so we've let them take their time to get it right for them, and not have the pressure of us standing over them saying you have to be out by tomorrow. So it's been that way. So, but certainly on budget. We have tweaked a few things as design gone by to make, we think, a better product. But again, we've kept that within the cost parameters we have. We know that the members will be very keen to understand that we didn't overspend. And I think that the message we've given all the way through the progress is it's on budget.
Communication.
And one of the best things we do is to put a webcam on the current clubhouse, so the members from out of town could see the construction as it was coming out the ground.
How long has it been in construction? When did the spade go in the ground?
8th of January 2024, the first spade went in. And technically it was more or less ready, in October, end of September, October. So it was a fairly quick process. A lot of people said it was 2 years plus it would take. But no, our contractors have been very good. They're very, very good to work with. The consultants have been on the ball. So we've all pushed it to make it happen.
Were you the project manager, or did you have a project manager come in and do it?
No,
from this scale of project, you need someone who knows what they're doing.
You do, and yes, as we get near the end, there was more calls on my time. As we're digging holes to ground, I don't need to watch that. But as we get the fit out stuff,
I need it here, I need this.
light switches and what locks do you want in the door, and which door should you lock, and where's the signage going?
More operational features.
Those things. That's when you get more involved in. So
Graham was saying from a food and beverage perspective as well, how's this going to work? What do you need, chef? What do you need? Where do you want it? Which is great though as well, isn't it?
But they're all invested in. When we did the designs back in 2017, the staff we had at the time, each department got to look at their area, and we said, right, well, you're going to use it. How do you think it should work? So there's a lot of staff that we have now. 2 or 3 have left, as they always do, but there's a lot of staff have been involved in designing this clubhouse. I said, look, I don't know much about architecture, but you know how to run your section, your department. How should it? So they've all had input. So I like to think they've got a bit of ownership and a bit of pride, and they've delivered their bit, on behalf of the club and the members.
I think that's you've hit there a really important part about club management, is that, and this is something I always take from CMAA conferences, is that you employ people who are experts in their trade, and then you manage those people. And you give them the stuff that they want because they're much better than you in order to be able to produce what they're good at. And that is so important, to be able to get good people, build a team around you, and then let them fly. And give them the support. Ask the right questions, so they're not, just spending money willy-nilly. That's the other thing you have to be careful of. But
we test them on that.
At the end of the day, it's just making sure that you've got the right people who understand the project and then can really fly in their respective areas, because you can't be good at everything.
And that's what the general manager type was. You're generally looking after the place, but you employ the right people to do the right job. I harken back to Steve Jobs said it. We're going to employ the best people so they can tell us what to do.
Exactly.
But you empower them all. From the one that You know, the old NASA thing, you know, the guy sweeping the corridors in NASA. What's your job?
Yeah.
I'm here to put a man on the
Yeah,
moon.
man on the moon.
And it starts in the bottom there.
It
And we have our all staff meetings every year, and that's what we say. Look, you're all here to do a job.
Yeah.
You know, but that job is a collective to make Royal Dornoch the best golf club in the world.
Yeah.
So we do that in the induction process. We go through the same thing. You know, I'm employing you because you're the best.
One of the reasons I'm here, and I probably picked up the phone when I started with Wine and Earth, was you made the statement we want to be one of the most sustainable clubhouses as well. You know, and hence why you need the most sustainable wines. But is that a big thing? Was that always a big thing for you, or was that a big thing from Dornoch? Was that a big thing from the members and the board? Why sustainability?
I think Dornoch wants to be a leader in everything. One of the golf course, we've had our GEO certification since the very beginning, and we're just renewing it again because we feel proud of the fact that reduce, reuse, recycle, sustainable, less water, less pesticides, less fertilizer, and our team in the golf course are very good at that. We need, again, the off-course experience to be the same. Dornoch wants to lead in many ways, you know, and that is one that we saw. And to be fair, COVID gave us that break because we were ready to go to tender in March 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, and then obviously we didn't. We took a step back. November 22, we decided to restart the project, and then we reviewed all the designs that we had, and we realised that we could be doing things better and greener by changing a number of the things that we designed pre-COVID.
Okay.
You know, when energy was cheaper and people weren't talking so much about it. So we did a lot of changes, and actually, I think we pushed on to make that happen. So, for example, we didn't have solar panels before COVID.
Yeah.
But now we've got a whole south-facing roof with 136 solar panels generating electricity for us. Okay. We have ground source heat pumps now. You know, we've everything is motion censored in here. You know, so everything clicks off without people having to remember. Yeah. You know, it's.
Well, my boss Willie Bow would have loved that. Back in 1992, he was always turning off.
Yeah, exactly. So it's induction cooking in the kitchen, you know. It's trying to make the best of everything. But the staff are invested in that too. That we want it to be as good as it can be.
Staff coming through, you know, being indoctrinated into being more sustainable.
You know, it's an A-rated, energy-efficient building.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if there's many more clubhouses are like.
Seen in the plant today. That's pretty impressive.
You know, under floor heating, it's, you know, so it's a very clean building, no radiators anywhere. Yeah. It is something we'll all be proud of what we've delivered. Yeah. And it will stand the test of time, another 100 years, as the previous building.
Feels like it's going to, say it's kind of a church. But it's going to stay in here for like centuries, I think.
No, I think that the more we get used to it, the more we'll feel proud of it. Yeah. You know, it's just been a journey to deliver it, and there's been some...
Was it stressful, or was it... I mean, you haven't finished it yet, so it's probably a difficult question to ask. But generally, have you enjoyed the experience, or has it been more stressful than you thought?
I would think I very much enjoyed it, and stress is a thing we can all contemplate. I don't think I've been stressed by it. No, I've just been busy because we're still trying to run a golf club.
Exactly. Yeah,
quite a busy golf club.
A very busy golf club. Yeah,
you know, and try and build a clubhouse. Yeah. So if you ask my wife, I've never been busier. Yeah. You know, it's get up and get here at 8 o'clock in the morning, go home at 6 o'clock at night, have some dinner, and then spend another 2 or 3 hours catching up on the stuff you didn't do. Yeah. And that's what we're looking forward to, with the fact that the clubhouse build is finished. Mm-hmm. We're able to employ more staff. We can all not take a big sigh of relief, but just get back to a normal pace of life. Mm-hmm. Whereas we've all been keen to deliver the right product, and so we're all invested in that. And so time doesn't matter then. But now we need to get back and say, actually, take a look back. How busy were we? Far too busy. But we've now got it, so let's just relax a bit and get back to a normal pace, you know, and enjoy it. And enjoy the fact that we can go outside and chat for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or go to the lounge and chat, and not think, I need to get back, you know. And before the clubhouse came along, we were doing that. We were more invested in the people, and that's the way it should be.
Well, one thing I will say is that even now, through being so busy, there's a number of startups who come to me. And they always say, I rang Neil at Dornoch, and he picked up the phone and he listened to me. And so you still had the time to be able to do that. And I always think there's a lot of managers who don't do that. And they're not as busy as you.
Yeah. But I think it's important,
Yeah.
to respond to people. If people need something or ask something, then you've got a duty and a responsibility. It
To
should
look
be,
at things as well.
yeah, to help.
It could be better for Royal Dornoch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, if somebody's asking for help, then the best thing you can do is give it to them. Conversely, if I need some help, I'd like to think somebody would help me. But we're people.
Yeah.
People persons. We're social animals. We love interaction.
Yeah.
So if somebody emails you or phones you, absolutely, I'll phone you back. Why shouldn't I? And that's what, again, back to the staff thing. We must invest in people. And if we don't have time for them, we don't have time for anything.
Yeah.
And I think people are the most important stuff. And that's what I'm saying. I want to get back to having just a little bit more time to walk around the clubhouse and, ask
people.
Just talk to people.
A number of times again on the podcast, the phrase "people buy people."
Mm-hmm.
It's so true.
Yeah.
If they buy into you, whether you're a manager, whether you're a member, they believe in what you're trying to do, and they believe in the vision and the fact that you will complete. It becomes powerful.
It does, and we all work with people. You ask them for something that never happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tomorrow? But if you can deliver it to them, then you get a lot of satisfaction. But you also get a lot of buy-in from them when it happens again. And you can go to the well.
Yes.
If it's necessary.
Just coming back to the 14 million. Where did that money come from? Was that because you stopped in COVID?
Yeah, I think that.
And obviously, COVID was in some cases very good because a lot more people maybe not so much for actually Scotland because they couldn't travel, but a lot of people were coming out to play. And then thereafter, it's been very good from a Scottish perspective. You've highlighted, green fees now. Do you have good surpluses to be able to do it?
Yeah, we had rather a lot of money in the bank.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID.
Okay.
Obviously, COVID put the price up.
Yeah.
By almost 40%.
Yeah.
So we did have to borrow a little money to finish it off.
Yeah.
But we will pay that loan back within the next couple of years because of the way golf is.
Yeah.
The green fees we can charge and the money we can surplus. We have a very good team. So when we do our all-staff meetings, usually at the end of the year, which one's coming up, I'll be saying to the staff, well, here's the facts and figures. We've beaten income targets by 10, 15%. Last year I think it was 12% we beat the income target by, but our expenditure target was within 2% of the budget. And you pat them on the back and say, that's thanks to you guys.
Yeah.
You're working really hard to grow what we have, but not spend too much on it.
Yeah.
Be really efficient about yourselves and what we're doing. And again, it's going to be the same this year. We're very strong on budgets to make sure that we all adhere to them. Like you said, if the greenkeeper or the chef or somebody needs something, justify it to me, and then we can work it into the budget.
Yeah.
But we're not a wasteful society. Back to our sustainability.
Yeah.
Can we fix it? Or do we just buy another one?
Yeah.
Let's fix it first, can we?
Yeah.
And the staff, again, I think because of the way we treat the staff, they're invested in the club and we'll look after it. Mm-hmm. If you're not looking after your staff, they get a bit blasé and a bit kind of slap hand about things, and things get broken a lot. Mm-hmm. Things need to be changed and need repaint or re-wallpaper. But no, if the staff are invested in it, which I think they are, they look after you.
Yeah.
And I think 100%. That's the thing, and give them that responsibility.
Yeah. I think I found that at St Andrews. When I was at St Andrews, it wasn't there at the beginning, but we put some measures in. Mm-hmm. And I think there was a definite flip about 2 years into my tenure there where you suddenly felt that people were going, okay, we're trying to be world class. How do we become world class? What is world class? Will we ever achieve it? But we'll try very hard to get to it. Mm-hmm. And there was a definite pride in working for St Andrews and the badge and whatever. And I kind of feel that with Royal Dornoch as well, that the people, just serving me lunch today were very invested in service and making sure that, we just came up, we were waiting for you, you're busy and whatever, and we were doing some things on the laptop. But they took their time to come and chat to us, make sure we were okay, understand what we wanted, and then just generally just felt welcome.
Yeah, I think again it's a job we've done in the last 15 years to grow the name and reputation of the club. Yeah. 15 years ago, trying to employ somebody was so difficult. Yeah. Now, when you advertise like we have for Head of Golf, wow, the number of the application, the quality of applications, and again
all over the world, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So
is that person going to come in for the opening? Will they be here? And
they'll be here very soon. Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah. It is exciting, and again, but we see that when we advertise for greenkeepers, we're just inundated with people who want to work here. Yeah. And I think that's part of the job we've all done to grow the reputation, grow the name, grow it as a destination that people desire. I think that we're getting a reputation for being a great employer, like I've said, great
Yeah.
terms and conditions, good salaries. You get all the right tools for your job. Wow, I want to go and work there.
Yeah.
So I think we're coming. So I think, you know, many post more to advertise, and I think I'll thankfully or hopefully be quite calm about the number of applications we get, because there'll be numerous, you know. Get more people here that want to come here.
Who want to come here. Yeah.
And not just take them because that's the only one that applied.
Yeah.
We want to get past
Yeah.
that.
I think you're way past that. I think you're way past that. You're coming up to a big birthday for the club.
For the club, yes.
You did
150 in 2027.
2027. That's
Mhm.
pretty good. Any special things happening in 2027?
Yeah, so we're going to have some celebrations, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, we did 400 years of golf being played on the links here.
Okay.
2016 was the celebration of 400 years. 1616, 2016.
Okay.
1616 is the first recorded written evidence of golf being played in the links.
Right.
So we did a year's worth of celebrations.
Okay.
And I said at the end of that year, it says, we're never doing that again.
And
So I said, when we're 150, we're going to have a nice, concise celebration. A very big one, but a nice, concise one.
Yeah.
You know, so we're going to have a week's worth of celebrations.
Nice.
3 days for our out-of-town friends at Royal Clubs and other people, and 3 days of member-only celebrations.
Okay.
You know, we'll various of things as we did in 2016.
Yeah.
Each event will have a special 150th gift for the winners, all that sort of thing.
Nice.
But as for marquee dinners and stuff, we're going to compact that into a shorter period of time, so none of us are dead at the end of it.
Yeah. And then the next year, you got the Cup.
Yes.
This is really exciting,
And I think it is, and I think it is testament to the club. Since I've come, we've hosted a number of R&A events, and I'd like to think we were on a ladder, and you know, in their scale for how far can Royal Dornoch go with the R&A. And I think the Curtis Cup is only second to the Walker Cup.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
first for the ladies,
Yeah.
obviously, but
100%, yeah.
you know, but you know,
I think having the clubhouse, or them knowing that you were building the clubhouse, a big thing, big part of that decision making.
I have, as you know, we never say that, but I think it is.
Yeah.
I think when we had the Vagliano Trophy here in 2023, the clubhouse was coming, and when we were speaking to them there, I think that the knowledge they had, not say they'll never admit it to you, but I think having this facility here for 2028, I think they thought this is something we can do. You know, and to be fair, we've run, every time we run an R&A event, they always pat us on the back and say, "Wow, we love coming here because you make it so easy for us."
Yeah.
You know, they and one event we did say, "I've never watched golf at an event I've run. I've watched golf every day because we help them so much." And back to your point earlier, that if somebody wants help, we'll give it to them.
Yeah.
We're up there first thing in the morning with them to say, "Right, what do you need?" "We don't need anything."
Yeah.
"No, I'm just here anyway, just in case."
Yeah.
And I think they feel comforted by that.
Yeah.
And it's the way that the Highlands are. You know, you're coming to our place, so we're going to be there to host you, to look after you, to make sure you have everything you need. We take a lot of pride in the fact that they're here. They have said to us that they go to some courses that couldn't care less. You know, they are nice. Oh, well, members are not happy. Whereas our members are delighted.
Yeah.
You know, and certainly I was speaking to some members the other day. We had the Jacques Leglise in 2015, and 3 of those players are now winners on the world stage. You know, and we said to them, "Look, come and watch, because some of these players will be the next Ryder Cup stars." Absolutely. And that's proved to be. Yeah. And it's great we can share that. And I think the amateur game is where we see our peak. People have asked about the Open and pro events, and it's not for us.
They're different scale.
But
you don't want to go into that. You know, you can't do that from, even Dornoch couldn't.
No, and we don't do that. But it's a different mindset. The pros are coming to play to win money.
Yeah.
The amateurs are coming to compete and be honoured in an amazing event that they will put on their CV as, "I played the Walker Cup, the Curtis Cup, the Jacques Leglise, the Vagliano. I've played all those." And people are very proud to say that. And I played it at Dornoch.
Yeah.
You know?
Interesting, Martin Slumbers,
yes.
That was his last event, the Curtis Cup, and he was the starter at Sunningdale. To Lamore. I thought that was, you know, it kind of showed him in a light that you know these events were really important. You know, he did the Open, and Peter Dawson used to say, "Yeah, the Open's great, I love it, but I actually love the amateur." Yeah.
Oh, very much so, because you're much closer to the players. It's a smaller crowd. We like the match play events. You know, because it's more compact. Yeah. You know, we had a wonderful time with the senior amateur in 22. The first time the R&A had the men's and the women's at the same time over 2 courses at the same venue, so 280 odd players, and it was fantastic. The atmosphere around, again, being seniors are more relaxed, I think, but it was so much fun. But it was a busy week.
Yeah.
So a nice match play event really suits us, and we get really down into it with them.
Yeah, it's lovely. A lot of people will ask, what are you going to do with the old clubhouse?
Yeah, as we've said from the very outset a number of years ago, that it's got to come down. It will come down, and demolition will start on the 1st of February. We're just about to go out tender for that.
Yeah.
People say, well, that's a shame. So, well, it's not actually. If you think about it, the building was 1909. It's now going to be 116 years old. It is quite tired. It's really served a wonderful purpose. It's done it's seen a lot of things. It's, had a lot of personalities, and it's now time for it to rest. As we all get older, nobody goes on forever.
Absolutely.
And we've got to honour that. So when you're
change is good.
Change is good, and when people
improvements. I'm sure you'll put something there that
we'll do something. But what I'm saying is, a nice old lady. She's done a great job for us. It's now time for her to rest, and so we're just going to let her do that nice and peacefully. We're going to celebrate it. We're going to have at the end of November, with the last day of business, we're having an informal party, and a nice ceremony of the captain putting the light out. And then locking the door, and then we'll all stand there and thank her. And then my plan is we'll all turn around and look at the new clubhouse. And the new beginning and everything. So it's been good, but it's like I said, it's been modified in so many different ways that you couldn't really do anything with it. So we wanted to give it our time and say thank you very much.
Then last two questions. We always ask these to all our guests. If you won all the money in the world as a golf lottery, you had to spend as much money as you liked on golf.
Wow.
What would it be?
It would be what I've always liked to do, is go and play different courses. I just the joy, the thrill of playing as many courses as we can. There's many courses around. I don't know what's there, 35,000 courses. We'll never play them all. But it's not playing the top ones. It's just playing golf. Let's travel to. I've never golfed in Australia or New Zealand. Let's go and do that. Let's go to South America. Let's go to the west coast of America. I haven't played golf in Canada. There's always opportunities to go and play and sample it differently. We think we do golf the best. Well, we just do it the original way. Might not be the best way. It's the original way. So let's go and see how other people have done it. And let's just go and play. And so it's not about ticking boxes. I'm not a top 100 guy, or I must get all the open rota. It's not. If there's a game of golf to be had, I love to play it. As I say to people, there's no such thing as a bad golf course. There's some I like more than others, certainly, but it's not a bad game.
A bit like wine. There is some bad wine. Let's put that right. There is.
I mean, if you, as we all know, if you're out golfing, then you're having fun. Whatever the golf course is, whatever it is. So that's me. It's just traveling more. Being fortunate to have many invitations to go and play at places. Some top places, some just ordinary places. But there are people say, if you're ever coming, ever passing this way, please. And I will, absolutely. And it's just a nice game of golf. Four people, whoever it is. Let's just go play golf and enjoy. And it's not about scoring. It's just about playing. Too many.
That's what I love. Because people say, "Oh, you're a member anywhere?" I said, "Well, I'm not, but I'm lucky that I can play at a lot of golf courses. I know a lot of people. Also, I don't really want to play in competitions anymore. I like playing with people."
Me too, and that's where I get to now. A great 4-ball is perfect. And it's not about a pound. I don't even need that. It's just let's go and walk and chat. And understand and get to know each other. 100%. And hit the golf ball, and sometimes you hit it well and sometimes you don't. But it doesn't matter because you're out there enjoying, to me, which is the greatest sport in the world.
100%. And usually in the beautiful places as well. Better than being in an office most of the time. And finally, we ask, if you had one round of golf left in your life, where would you play it? And with who? And why?
So, where would you play it is obvious, because we're going to play at Royal Dornoch, I mean, it is the best golf course in the world. And it is, to me, the most unique golf course. And some days it beats you up, and some days it just gives you everything. It's not, there's many other championship courses that it's just really hard. Every time you step it, this is going to be hard. Whereas some days at Dornoch, it's so easy. The ball bounces past the bunker. The ball runs onto the green. The ball falls in the hole. Other days, but it has that variety about it, so you've got to play here. And again, the air is so clear, the sky is so blue. It's a summer's day here is second to none. And when I read the question about who would you play with, I thought it's a fantastic question. We're all going to pick somebody, but I want to play with my father. My father died not long after I got the job here. His ill health had got him by then, so I got the job starting September, and he died in December. So, and like I said, Dad was the last man that did both jobs. So he was 7 days a week. All we as kids knew was Mum and Dad working all the time. So we never played much golf. We played golf together, but not as much as I would have liked. It wasn't a come on son, let's go out and play 9 holes. Dad was working. And so to get, and Dad was a great golfer. You know, a beautiful swing. He played off 2 when he turned pro.
Right.
He won the Scottish PGA Seniors '93 when he managed to take a bit less time working. So he could play.
Yeah.
And so I missed the fact that I could play with enough golf with him.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, the second person I'd love to play with, and I only ever met the man once, was Seve. We'd all want to play golf with Seve.
Yeah.
You know, and my only ever experience was at the Ryder Cup in '97.
Okay.
You know, and
Valderrama.
We're on the right of 17 down the bank. You know, and there's I can't remember who it's. I think it must have been it was a foursomes match, and the European pair had hit it into the back bunker. Right, so the back bunker in 17 hitting on downslope towards the water. Yeah. Right, so we're sitting riveted by what's going to happen next, and we're aware of somebody kind of creeping up inside the ropes just next to us, and the guy in the bunker is about to play, and this guy stops and it's Seve. Oh, jeez, you know, and typical Seve, big flashing smile, you know, big flashing smile, and I thought, oh, jeez, we're in, you know, and he just looks at us, and then he looks at the shot, and he says, "For him's difficult, for me easy." Flashed a smile, and away he went. And it was just, and then as we know, Seve was very intense about the Ryder Cup, but at that particular moment, he was what we all wanted him to be, the great character, the great man, the great personality. Just for that, for 3 guys from Scotland.
Yeah, so you remember it to this day.
Oh, absolutely. It's the only time I ever met Seve, and it was just that moment of wow. But you know, he could have been so intense and just walked past. He just happened to stop next to us, but he said something. Yeah. He didn't have to. He could have just looked, and that was it. And so playing with Seve. I think. I mean, when I was younger, he was just coming on tour, and it was like he was all our hero.
I grew up with exactly the same.
Who didn't want to be Seve?
Absolutely.
You know, and so the last person, the fourth in our 4 will be my wife.
Okay.
You know, nice. I mean, Fiona only took up golf in her 30s and is very, very keen and loves to play and, you know, hits the ball pretty well and gets on with it. But she's my wife. It's good company. I like being with her. Yeah. You know, and I think the mixture of my dad and Seve and Fiona and me, to me, the 4 of us walking down the fairway.
One last time. It's perfect, isn't it? Yeah.
And you know, and I thought many times, who do you want to play with? Yeah. But that's got all the different facets of what I want from life. You know, my dad who he looked up to and wanted to be like that. You know, Seve, who was God's gift to golf, and you wanted to play like him, and then your wife, who you want to be with. Yeah. So I had everything I needed.
That's fantastic.
In a 4 ball.
You know, a lot of people like that question, and you obviously thought about it a great deal, and they do. People do that, and that's a lovely one. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, that's great. Well, I enjoyed the whole conversation.
Oh,
again, Neil, honoured to be the first podcast within the new clubhouse. Honoured that we had this conversation. I wish you all the best of luck in 4 weeks' time when the members actually see it. I don't think there's any luck needed. This is for everybody looking, listening. You've got to come to Royal Dornoch. I tell you, this clubhouse is something special. When I came today and I walked in, it was a religious feeling. It really is. It's like it's amazing. You've done a great job. Your team have done a great job, and there is huge pride already in it. Your members will love it. I think they'll also have huge pride in bringing their guests here, 100%. I think the RNA will have an absolute ball for the Curtis Cup in 2028. And I think for many, many years, Royal Dornoch will exceed expectations. Cheers to you.
Thank you very much, Neil.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.